Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Mr. Boskin Does Some Math. Today we're doing Illustrative Math, Grade 8, Unit 3, Lesson 13, Practice Problems. Okay, our first question here says, for each equation, find y when x equals negative 3, then find x when y equals 2. So if we're going to find y when x equals negative 3, we just have to substitute in negative 3 for x. So the equation is y equals 6x, but we're substituting in negative 3 plus 8. Not doing anything to the left side of the equation, bring it down. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Plus 8. Negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. Now we want to find x when y equals negative 2. So I'm going to substitute in 2 for y. Y is 2 equals 6x plus 8. How do we get the x by itself? We need to isolate the x, solve for x. First, we've got to get rid of adding 8. We get rid of adding 8 by subtracting 8. 2 subtract 8 is negative 6 equals 6x. Now, how do we isolate the x? What's stopping the x from being by itself? The 6. How do we get rid of multiplying by 6? We divide by 6. Multiplying and dividing by 6 cancel out. X equals 6 divided by 6. Anything divided by itself is 1. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. X equals negative 1. Okay. Y equals 2/3 x. First, we want to figure it out when x is negative 3. Y equals 2/3 and x is negative 3. 2/3 times 3 is like 2/3 times 3 over 1. Y equals 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 over 3 times 1 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. Okay, now we want to know when y equals 2. So 2 equals 2/3 x. Now, getting the x by itself, let me move that up so my head doesn't get in the way. 2/3 times x. To undo multiplying, we divide. So now we have to do 2 divided by 2/3. What's 2 divided by 2/3? Dividing by a fraction means multiplying by the reciprocal. So we have to do 2 divided by 2/3, which is 2 times the reciprocal. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 equals x. X is equal to 3. Okay, next one. Y equals negative. Plug in our x value. We were supposed to plug in negative 3. Plus 5, y equals negative 3 is positive 3, plus 5, y equals 8. Now we want to find where y equals 2. So 2 equals negative x plus 5. First, we've got to get rid of adding 5. To undo adding 5, we subtract 5, do it to one side, do it to the other. 2 subtract 5 is negative 3 equals negative x. So how do we get rid of that negative sign? Basically, with that, we can divide each side by negative 1, multiply each side by negative 1, but all we really have to do is flip the signs. That's what multiplying by negative 1 would do. So x equals 3. Okay, last one here. Nope, 2 more. There was a bunch of these. This is one of those skills that you need a lot of practice with to get really good at. Y equals 3/4. Our x value is negative 3 minus 2.5. 3/4 times negative 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So negative 9/4 minus 2.5. Okay. Let me give these a common denominator. Common denominator between halves and fourths is fourths. So 1/2 is 2/4. So we are 9/4. 9/4 is 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 minus 2 2/4 is negative 4 3/4. Now we want to do it where y equals 2. So substitute in 2 for y equals 3/4 x minus 2 1/2. How do we get rid of subtracting 2.5? We add 2.5. Do it to one side, do it to the other. So 2 plus 2.5 is 4 1/2 equals 3/4 x. This might be even easier to work with if we turn it into an improper fraction. So that's 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So 9/2 equals 3/4 x. To get the x by itself, divide each side by 3/4. Move my head out of the way. Okay. Those will cancel. We're left with just x. But we need to figure out what 9/2 divided by 3/4 is. 9/2 divided by 3/4 is 9/2 times 4/3. 4 times 9 is 36. 2 times 3 is 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Okay, now we've got the last one. Plugging in an x value of negative 3. Y equals 1.5 times negative 3 plus 11. 1.5 times 3. Well, half of 3 is 1.5. So that would be negative 4 1/2 plus 11. negative 4.5 plus 11. So we're 4.5 feet underground. We go up 11. Where are we? Going to be positive 6.5, 6.5. Now we want to figure out x when y equals 2. So 2 equals we substituted in the 2 for y. What do we have to do? First, we've got to get rid of 11 from each side. Subtract 11 from one side. Those cancel. 2 subtract 11 is negative 9 equals 1.5x. Get x by itself. We're going to divide each side by 1.5. Those will cancel. Do it to one side, do it to the other. 9 divided by 1/2. Or 9 divided by 1.5. So we have negative 9 over 1 divided by 1.5 is 3 over 2, 3 halves. So dividing by 3 over 2 is the same as multiplying by 2 over 3. That looks a little easier. What's 2/3 of 9? It's 3. Negative times a positive is a negative. X equals negative 3. Okay, that got a little scattered. We had all kinds of algebra to do there. That's kind of fun. I think so, anyway. Next problem, true or false? The points 613, 2133, and 99,137 all lie on the same line. The equation of the line is y equals 4/3 x plus 5. Explain or show your reasoning. So how do we do this? We just substitute those points into the equation and see if the equal sign holds up. First one, we had 613. The y value of that is 13 equals 4/3. The x value of that is 6 plus 5. 13 equals 4/3 times 6 over 1. 4 times 6 is 24 over 3 plus 5. 24/3 is 8. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Plus 5. 8 plus 5 is 13. That one works. Our next one is the point 2133. The y value of that is 33. We plug that into the y equals 4/3. Our x value is 21 plus 5. 33 equals 4 times 21 is 84/3 plus 5. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. 84 divided by 3 equals 28 plus 5. 33. 33 equals 33. That equal sign checks out. One more. Ooh, I bet we're going to wind up using the calculator again. The y value of that is 137 equals 4/3. That x value is 99 plus 5. 137 equals 4 times 99 is 396 over 3 plus 5. 396 divided by 3 equals 132 plus 5, 137. 137 equals 137. That one works. Is this true or false? That is true. Show your reasoning. I just did. Okay, what have we got next? Here is a linear equation. Y equals 1/4 x plus 5/4. Are 1, 1.5, and 12, 4 solutions to the equation. So again, we've got an equation, we've got values, we just have to substitute in those points. First one, the y value is 1.5 equals 1/4. Substitute in the x value plus 5/4. Okay, 1.5 equals 1/4 times 1 is 1/4 plus 5/4. 1.5 equals 1/4 plus 5/4 is 6/4. 6/4? Yes, that's 1.5. That point works. Now, one more point. The y value of that point is 4. Equals 1/4 times the x value, which is 12, plus 5/4. 4 equals, what's 1/4 of 12? That's 3. Plus 5/4. 3 plus 5/4 is 4 equals 4 and 1/4. That doesn't work. No way. Are they solutions to the equation? The first one is. The second one is not. Find the x-intercept of the graph. So let's think quickly about the x-intercept. The x-intercept is where we cross this line. So we want to find out our x value when y equals 0, because everything on that line is where y equals 0. To find the x-intercept, we just plug in 0 for y. 0 equals 1/4 x plus 5/4. First thing we've got to do is get rid of adding 5/4. How do we undo adding 5/4? We subtract it. Do it to one side, do it to the other. So now we have negative 5/4 equals 1/4 x. To get the x by itself, divide by 1/4. Dividing by 1/4 is the same as multiplying by 4, right? So we could just multiply by 4. Do it to one side, do it to the other. We are left with x equals 4 times negative 5/4. Hey, look, we're again multiplying and dividing by 4. Those will cancel. We're left with just the negative 5. The y-intercept is, or the x-intercept rather, is negative 5, which is the point negative 5, 0. Find the coordinates of B, C, and D given that AB equals 5 and BC equals 10. So this is 5. This is 10. So if we want the coordinates of B, C, and D, B is pretty easy because, let me move that a little bit so my face is less in the way. From here to here, we didn't go up or down at all, going from A to B, so the y value stayed the same. And our x value went to the right 5 units, What's 5 units to the right of an x value of negative 2? Well, negative 2 plus 5 is 3. Point C. Point C didn't go left or right at all from B, so the x value is still 3. If this x value is 3, then this x value is 3. It just went straight up. Now we went up 10 units from negative 5, because this was y equals negative 5. Up 10 units from negative 5 is positive 5. Okay. Now the coordinate of point D. One of these values is easy. That's the y-axis, which means x equals 0. Now, how are we going to find out the y value? Looks like it's in the negative. How far in the negative is it? I don't know. Let's look. What can we do? Well, I think the first thing I want to look at is the slope. Slope is rise over run. We've already got this nice triangle. The rise is 10, the run is 5. 10 over 5 is 2 over 1, because that's 2, right? So we know for every 1 unit we go over, we go up 2. Every 1 unit we go over, we go up 2. So we were at negative 2. If we go over 1, we went up 2. So negative 5 up 2 is negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. So this is the point negative 1, negative 3. Now if we go over 1 further, we're at 0, and we go up 2 from negative 3, which would be negative 1. So D is the point 0, negative 1. Okay. Match each graph of a linear relationship to a situation that most reasonably reflects its context. So A starts at 0 and goes up. B starts at some positive value and goes up. C starts negative and goes up. And D starts somewhere positive and goes down. So, let's look at these situations here. The weight of a kitten X days after birth. Well, a kitten weighs something when it's born, so it starts positive. Starts positive, and they grow, right? Starts positive and goes up. Well, that's B. So graph B goes with 1. 1 goes with B. I'll label it both ways. Number 2, why is the distance left to go in a car ride after X hours of driving at a constant rate towards its destination? So we start out a certain distance away from where we're going, and the distance left to go would go down as we were driving. So that's going to start positive. We start some distance away and go down because we will be getting closer. So 2 goes with D. D goes with 2. 3. Why is the temperature in degrees C of a gas being warmed in a laboratory experiment? So we have some gas, it's getting warmed. Which one is that? What do we have left? We've done B and D, so we have A and C left. So a gas warming, we don't know what it starts at. So it could be either of these. Let's look at what 4 is. Y is the amount of calories consumed eating X crackers. Well, the more crackers you eat, the more calories you've eaten, so that's going to be going up. But if you eat 0 crackers, how many calories have you consumed? None. So that has to start at 0 and go up. Start at 0 and goes up is A. So 4 goes with A. A goes with 4. Which means 3. Why is temperature in degrees of a gas being warmed in a laboratory experiment? That is warming. It looks like that experiment started with a temperature below 0. 3 has to go with C. C goes with 3. That's our last one. This has been another episode of Mr. Boskin Does Some Math. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.